After more than 15 years as a doctor on the front lines of hospital care, I've seen what separates the patients who recover and thrive from those who sadly don't. And it's usually not what you'd think. It isn't genetics, it isn't wealth, and it certainly isn't luck. More often than not, it boils down to a specific set of daily habits. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 10 fundamental habits that predict not just a longer life, but a longer health span, the years you live in good health. And we're starting with the most overlooked one right now. Habit number 1, overcoming loneliness. The deadliest habit isn't a substance you take or a behavior you consciously choose. It's a state of being, loneliness. The U.S. Surgeon General has officially declared loneliness a public health epidemic, stating its mortality impact is like smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. It's considered even more dangerous than obesity or a sedentary lifestyle. I've seen this with my own eyes. I remember a patient, a man in his late 60s, who came to us after a heart attack. Physically, he was recovering by the book, but something was wrong. He wasn't getting better. He was quiet, withdrawn, and you could see his spirit was broken. It turned out his wife had passed away a year before and he felt completely alone. That loneliness was stalling his recovery more than any medical issue. And the research confirms what I saw in that hospital room. Social disconnection is tied to a significantly higher risk of cardiovascular disease, dementia, stroke, depression, and anxiety. About 1 in 2 American adults says they've experienced loneliness. Of course, the pandemic made this crisis even deeper, but here's the crucial part. The reverse is also true. Strong social connections are a powerful predictor of a long and resilient life. So, what's my prescription? It's not about having hundreds of friends. It's about the quality of your connections. Start small. Pick up the phone and call one person you haven't spoken to in a while. Join a local group that shares one of your interests, a book club, a walking group, a volunteer organization. Commit to having one meaningful, in-person interaction each day. Building and nurturing these bonds isn't a soft skill, it's a critical survival habit. Habit number 2, prioritizing quality sleep. The second habit is something most of us trade away for a few more hours of work or entertainment. Sleep. We often treat it like a luxury, but your body sees it as a non-negotiable maintenance period. Adults should aim for 7 or more hours of quality sleep per night. Consistently getting less than that isn't a badge of honor, it's a real health risk. When you sleep, your brain gets to work. There's a process, which some scientists call the glymphatic system, that acts like a cleanup crew, flushing out toxins that build up during the day. This includes waste products that may contribute to diseases like Alzheimer's. This nightly cleanup is essential. I had a patient, a 45-year-old lawyer, who was convinced his constant brain fog and irritability were early-onset Alzheimer's. After all his tests came back clear, we dug into his lifestyle. He was surviving on 5 hours of sleep a night. He thought he was being productive, but he was literally starving his brain of its repair time. We created a simple sleep plan, and within a month, his cognitive decline had vanished. Getting enough sleep consistently supports your immune system, regulates metabolism, and promotes heart health. Chronic sleep deprivation is linked to a higher risk of high blood pressure, diabetes, and depression. The key is consistency. Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on weekends. Create a relaxing ritual before bed. Read a book, take a warm bath, or listen to calming music. Make your bedroom a sanctuary for sleep. Cool, dark, and quiet. This simple habit is one of the most powerful things you can do for your long-term health. Habit number 3, engaging in daily exercise. If there were a magic pill for longevity, it would be exercise. But you don't have to become a marathon runner overnight. The secret is consistent daily movement that includes both aerobic exercise and resistance training. A 2024 study emphasized that while cardio is great for your heart, combining it with strength training gives you the benefits of both cardiovascular fitness and muscular strength. After age 40, we naturally lose about 1% of our muscle mass each year. It's a condition called sarcopenia, and it's what leads to frailty and a loss of independence later in life. Resistance training, lifting weights, using bands, or even bodyweight exercises like push-ups and squats is the single best way to fight this. It preserves not just your muscle, but your bone density too. Then there's aerobic exercise. This is what strengthens your heart and lungs. Brisk walking, cycling, swimming, or jogging are all fantastic. The goal is to get your heart rate up. The benefits are incredible. Studies have shown that just 75 minutes of brisk walking a week can add nearly 2 years to your life expectancy after 40. I always tell my patients to find an activity they actually enjoy. If you hate running, please don't run. Maybe you'd prefer dancing, hiking, or playing a sport. The best exercise is the one you'll stick with. A mix of 30 minutes of moderate intensity cardio most days of the week, plus 2 sessions of strength training, is a golden ticket to a longer, healthier life. It reduces your risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Habit number 4. Adopting a nutrient-dense diet. You simply cannot out-exercise a bad diet. What you eat is the fuel your body uses to repair cells, fight inflammation, and create energy. The evidence is overwhelming. Plant-forward, whole food diets are the clear winners for a long life. Diets like the Mediterranean or MIND diet consistently come out on top. I had a patient in her early 50s with a strong family history of dementia, and she was terrified of what she saw as her genetic destiny. We focused on one big change: shifting to a Mediterranean-style diet. This isn't about restriction, it's about abundance. It's centered on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and healthy fats like olive oil, with fish as a main protein source and limited red meat and processed foods. A meta-analysis confirmed that following a Mediterranean diet is linked to an 11 to 30% reduction in the risk of age-related cognitive disorders, including dementia and Alzheimer's. Some research even suggests this diet's protective effect is stronger for those with a high genetic risk. The opposite is also true. Ultra-processed foods, full of sugar, unhealthy fats, and artificial ingredients, are a direct assault on your body. They drive inflammation, mess with your gut health, and are linked to higher rates of cancer, diabetes, and cognitive decline. The simplest rule I tell my patients: eat food that's as close to its natural state as possible. Shop the perimeter of the grocery store, where the fresh produce, lean proteins, and whole foods usually are. This one habit doesn't just add years to your life, it truly adds life to your years. Habit number 5. Practicing time-restricted eating. This next habit is less about what you eat and more about when you eat. It's often called time-restricted eating or intermittent fasting. The most common way to do it is to limit all your eating to a specific window each day, say an 8-hour window from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and fast for the other 16 hours. The science behind this is fascinating. When your body isn't constantly busy digesting food, it can switch its focus to cellular repair and cleanup, a process called autophagy. Studies suggest that time-restricted eating can be a powerful tool for weight management and metabolic health. By simply closing your kitchen after dinner, say by 8 p.m., and not eating again until the next morning, you naturally give your digestive system a break. This can help reduce the risk of obesity and type 2 diabetes, 2 major drivers of age-related diseases. I had a patient who was struggling with prediabetes and couldn't lose weight. He was eating healthy foods, but he was grazing all day, from the moment he woke up until he went to bed. His insulin levels never had a chance to come down. We set up a simple 8-hour eating window. He didn't even change what he ate, just when. The weight started coming off, and his blood sugar numbers were back to normal within 3 months. It's a powerful reminder that timing can be just as important as content. A simple way to start is to just try not to eat for at least 3 hours before you go to sleep. This alone can have a big impact on your sleep quality and metabolic health. Habit number 6. Making brisk walking a daily ritual. While this falls under the exercise umbrella, I'm giving brisk walking its own section. Why? Because it is the single most accessible, effective, and underrated habit for a longer life. You don't need a gym, special equipment, or a lot of time. All you need is a pair of shoes and a little commitment. Brisk walking means walking with intention, at a pace of at least 3 miles per hour or a 20-minute mile. I worked with a patient who was a long-haul truck driver, living the definition of a sedentary life. He had high blood pressure, was overweight, and suffered from terrible back pain. He couldn't imagine doing a full workout, so he started with just one thing: a 15-minute brisk walk every time he stopped his truck for a break. It was a small, consistent change, A review of walking interventions found they can lead to significant reductions in weight, BMI, body fat, and blood pressure. Over 6 months, my patient lost 30 pounds. His blood pressure dropped to a healthy range, and his back pain disappeared. The benefits scale with your effort. Even 10 minutes of moderate exercise a day could prevent thousands of premature deaths each year in the US. Another study found 75 minutes of brisk walking per week was linked to a gain of 1.8 years in life expectancy. It improves heart and lung function, strengthens muscles and joints, and even helps prevent osteoporosis. It is the foundational movement that fights the damaging effects of sitting all day and keeps your body resilient as you age. Habit number 7. Actively managing stress. Chronic stress is a silent assassin. I'm not talking about the acute stress of a tight deadline or a near miss in traffic. I'm talking about the low-grade, relentless pressure from work, finances, or family that grinds you down day after day. This kind of stress floods your body with hormones like cortisol. Studies show that high cortisol from long-term stress can increase blood cholesterol, blood sugar, and blood pressure, all major risk factors for heart disease and stroke. It contributes to plaque buildup in your arteries and can even make your blood stickier, raising your clot risk. In the hospital, I see patients suffer a major cardiac event not from a sudden injury, but from the cumulative damage of years of unmanaged stress. A 2017 study in The Lancet even used brain imaging to show a direct link between activity in the brain's stress centers and later cardiovascular events. Managing stress isn't about eliminating it. That's impossible. It's about building rituals to deal with it. One of my most stressed out patients, an ER nurse, found her solution in a non-negotiable 5-minute mindfulness practice in her car after her shift. It was her airlock between the chaos of work and the peace of her home. Other proven strategies include journaling, spending time in nature, deep breathing exercises, or making time for a hobby you love. Actively managing your stress is just as crucial as managing your blood pressure. It's a non-negotiable habit for a long and healthy life. Habit number 8. Attending regular health checkups. This might sound obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people put it off. Regular health checkups are one of the most powerful forms of preventive medicine you can practice. Think of it like having a professional inspect your house for termites before they chew through the foundation. So many diseases that shorten our lives, like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and many cancers, are completely silent in their early stages. I once had a new patient, a 50-year-old man who hadn't seen a doctor in 10 years because he felt fine. He came in for something minor, but a routine check revealed dangerously high blood pressure and cholesterol that was through the roof. He was a walking time bomb and had no idea. We were able to get him on a plan with lifestyle changes and medication, likely preventing the heart attack or stroke that was in his near future. Early detection is a game changer. These checkups also establish a baseline for your health. Your doctor can track changes over time, spotting subtle shifts that might signal a problem. It's also your chance to get up to date on crucial vaccinations and screenings, like colonoscopies and mammograms. Seeing your doctor annually isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. It's you taking an active, empowered role in your own long-term wellness. Habit number 9. Building movement into your daily routine. This is different from habit number 3, which was about dedicated exercise. This habit is about weaving movement into the very fabric of your day. Our bodies were not designed to sit in chairs for 8 hours straight. That's a modern problem, and it's devastating for our metabolic health and posture. The goal here is to fight back against the sitting disease. Think of it as creating a movement-rich life. I have a physician colleague who replaced his office chair with a treadmill desk. He walks slowly for hours a day while he's on the phone or doing paperwork. That might be extreme for most of us, but the principle is key. Take the stairs. Park at the back of the lot. Get up and walk around for a few minutes every hour. Do a few squats while you wait for your coffee to brew. These small movements really add up. A patient of mine who worked from home felt sluggish and was gaining weight, even though he went to the gym every day. The problem was the other 23 hours of his day. We made a simple rule. Every time his phone rang, he had to stand up and walk while he talked. It seemed trivial, but it broke up his long stretches of sitting. This habit isn't about burning a ton of calories. It's about constantly signaling to your body that it's made to move. This improves circulation, boosts metabolism, and maintains the balance and flexibility you need to stay independent as you age. Habit number 10. Finding purpose and avoiding addictions. The final habit is the one that gives all the others meaning, having a strong sense of purpose. It's your why. It's the reason you get out of bed in the morning. Research has shown that people with a high sense of purpose have a significantly lower risk of dying from all causes. One study found that older adults with the highest sense of purpose had a much lower mortality risk over the study period compared to those with the lowest sense. Purpose gives you a reason to make healthy choices. When you have something to live for, your family, a passion project, contributing to a cause you believe in, you're far more motivated to take care of yourself. Purpose can act as a powerful buffer against stress and has even been shown to protect cognitive function. The flip side of finding purpose is avoiding things that numb you or disconnect you from it, namely addictions. This obviously includes things like smoking, but also more socially acceptable habits like excessive drinking or even mindless hours spent in front of a screen. These habits can weaken your immune system, disrupt your sleep, and erode your motivation. I remember a patient who finally quit drinking, not because of a health scare, but because he realized it was dulling his passion for painting. Rediscovering his purpose gave him the strength to change his habit. A life driven by purpose is a resilient one, and it's the ultimate foundation for a long, vibrant life. The power to extend your life and, more importantly, your health span is largely in your hands. You don't have to tackle all of these at once. As the saying goes, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So I have a question for you. Which one of these 10 habits will you start with? Maybe it's calling a friend you haven't talked to in a while. Maybe it's putting your phone away an hour earlier tonight. Or maybe it's just planning a 10-minute walk for tomorrow. Whatever it is, pick one. Just one. Let me know in the comments below which habit you're committing to. Reading your commitment might just be the inspiration someone else needs to make a change too. And if you found this information valuable, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video.